Yo, 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 yo. This is Richie Rich, aka Billion Dollar Rich. First of all, I want to thank all y'all out there. I reached my 50 subscriber mark. Now I'm currently at 70 subscribers. Man, I love all y'all. And man, please watch this video through. Again, thank all y'all. I'm going to leave it off where I left off last time. This is my story part 2, right? All right, check it out. I was born in 1976 projects, you know what I'm saying? Also known as OC projects. You know, everybody knew them motherfuckers. I was up in Fillmore, you know what I'm saying? The Western Edition, you know what I'm saying? Okay, my mama name is Willie Mae Johnson, right? And my daddy name is Richard Johnson. All right, we're gonna start it off with my mama, right? My mama's sisters and brothers were my uncle, no, my auntie Liz, right? My auntie Rose, my auntie Gina. Then it was June and Joe. You feel me? My uncles. So I'm gonna start. We grew up in a household with a bunch of us, right? We all grew up in the same household at 1245 Eddie in Laguna. All right. My mama kids was me and my sister Tasha Johnson, you know, and then my auntie Rose, no, my auntie Shell kids was Missy, and my auntie Rose kids was Lisa, and my brother Anthony and Marcus. My auntie Gina, Sharonda Robinson, and my uncle June and Joe. Well, Joe supposedly had a kid, but we never met him, so-called. And my uncle June, he never had a kid. He's paralyzed like me. All right. My uncle June, he was a good baseball player. He got paralyzed. You know, I ain't gonna even go through all the story, but he got paralyzed. And my uncle Joe, he was a football player. He was damn good in football. He played for Sacred Heart, Sacred Heart, and he went to Nevada in college, played college football, and then he played for the Patriots. May he rest in peace. All right, we all grew up in the same household. That household used to be crazy. You feel me, on the real, but it was a lot of fun. You feel me? Boy, we used to have it rough, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. Back in them times, it wasn't easy for most black people, bro. You know what I'm saying? We didn't live, rich and famous and had everything. You know what I'm saying? But some nights we had to make nothing out of something. You know what I'm saying? And I don't keep it real. We used to have some nights, nigga. We have milk, no cereal. Or vice versa. Cereal, no milk. Cheese, no meat. You feel me? So we used to have to make the best out of the situation. I know all y'all remember this back in the days. You remember when we used to get them brick of cheese? Boy, we used to make gritted cheese out of them motherfuckers like rice stone. Like more than you can even think of. You know what I mean? That cheese was some of the best cheese you ever had. This American cheese don't taste nothing like that no more. You know what I'm saying? This shit is so fucked up now. You know what I mean? But yeah, most of the girls in the family, all my aunties and them, they was on drill teams, cheerleaders, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And the boys played the sports. You know? And man, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. We used to get in so much trouble because there was so many of us, right? My granddad and my grandma, my granddad name is Sam Peterson, and my grandma on my mama's side was Maggie Peterson. May they rest in peace. I miss y'all so much, man, on the real. Man, they used to do the best they can do for us to all accordance. My granddad worked his ass off. My grandma too. Them two was some non-stop working people. They work so much. I used to be like, man, you feel me? I guess that's where I get a little of my hustle from. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really never had, I had a few jobs, but not that many. You know what I'm saying? I figured out a long time ago, kind of like I always had a hustle. When I was little, I always figured out how to get some money. You know what I mean? On the real, I used to go to Food Land and push groceries to people's houses, and they used to give us money, quarters, dimes, dollars, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Depends how far we go. And then they built Safeway up on Gary and Fillmore, and I did it up there too. And we had Lucky's too, though. Y'all remember them, man? Food Land and Lucky's. Boy, there was some good ass stores back in the day. Food Land was the best store, but everything was cheap in Food Land on the real. And so we all grew up together. We all loved each other. You know what I'm saying? We fussed and fight some nights, but we always made it up. You know what I mean? And most people go through that type of shit. But it wasn't so easy back then, but we still lived it life to the best of our ability, though. You know what I mean? And man, I wouldn't change a thing back in that time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm trying to tell everybody little stories that y'all ain't heard all the way through. You know, we used to make slingshots, go-karts. You know what I'm saying? We used to have the Arts and Crafts Center. You know what I'm saying? We used to have Hayward Park. You know what I'm saying? Operation Contact. You know what I'm saying? This is before the Boys and Girls Club and all that came along. You know what I mean? So it was fucked up to believe it, but you would never know that by looking at us. You know what I'm saying? And we never was dirty and none of that shit. We never wore bummy clothes or nothing. We wore some cheap shit. You know what I'm saying? You might have had a hole and you misremember the OG iron-on patches. You used to have to put on the iron-on patches to patch your holes and your pants and shit. You know what I mean? But in them times, it was so much fun. We used to have everything to do. You know what I'm saying? You didn't used to be in the house like everybody in the house now. I mean, we used to couldn't be in the house like everybody in the house now. You know what I'm saying? On the real, we used to have to be outside. Like our parents kicked us outside. They'd be in the house watching soap operas and doing what they do, though. You feel me? But I used to be outside playing double dutch, jacks, and shit with the girls. Because I was the only boy for a while until Michael came along. I was so happy when Michael came along. You know what I'm saying? And my little brother Anthony and Marcus. You know what I'm saying? Them was the next ones that came along after me. You know what I'm saying? Years later, besides the ones I told y'all at first. So, it was amazing to me to have a boy finally. You know what I'm saying? I used to have to fight all the time for the girls. I wouldn't change that. I loved it because them was like sisters. They wasn't like cousins to me. You know what I'm saying? We all grew up in the same household. You know what I'm saying? And we played with a little everything. We used to sit up there, fuss, fight, I used to get hella whoopings, bro. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a little daredevil Dan type dude. You feel me? You could dare me to do anything, I'd do it. Yeah, that was kind of stupid to think about it now, but shit, I wouldn't change that shit right now for nothing, bro. It was some of the best moments of my life. I got messed up so many times, bro. So many times, though. You feel me? Trying to do some crazy shit. I'm telling y'all this story, I'm having hot flashes and shit. Boy, because it's giving me so many flashbacks. I had a god brother named Terrence Collins. Now, me and him, we used to do everything together. You know what I'm saying? But now, I'm going to come along, I'm going to bring it on up, y'all, now. You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of left that out in the last story. But now, in 1988, you know, in the 80s and shit, I was in a group home, right? I was in a group home called St. Vincent's. I used to come home every weekend. I remember everybody used to have a certain way they dressed it, right? I didn't know nothing about the dope game or nothing at the point because the group home kind of kept us out of that where we didn't know nothing about that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I learned on home passes. I learned, I'm like, my homeboys in there getting fly as fuck. All of a sudden, motherfuckers got cars. They dressed in raw ass clothes. Motherfuckers got Gap on, you know what I'm saying? Cross colors, all kind of raw ass shit. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers wasn't dressing like this before, right? So I'm learning this shit, you know. I did my thing when on the weekends when I came home, and my parents and them didn't know nothing about it though. You know what I mean? Because I always slid that shit back to the group home. You know what I mean? And the group home didn't know nothing about it because they thought my parents bought it for me. So I kind of played it like that. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm gonna tell y'all when that dope gang hit, it fucked. Even though it fucked everything up, but it didn't at first. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody had shit by the abundance. I mean, you could make so much money in one night, thousands and thousands of dollars, like it was nothing. I mean, all my friends had money. You know what I'm saying? So, people put me on. You know what I'm saying? And then due to the fact I was Mickey's son and my daddy seen I was out there, you know what I'm saying? He put me on. My dad was like the man, you know what I'm saying? So everybody knew him. So everybody knew me. And in the projects, everybody knew everybody anyway. Because you can get an ass whooping from anybody. You know what I'm saying? It was like that. It was like a village raising a kid. So, I mean, everybody knew everybody. I mean, hundreds of people. I don't know if it was thousands of people, it seemed like it, but it was a lot of people in the projects, bro. In OC projects. You know what I'm saying? And I used to get around something about me. I was good for making money, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I knew how to hold some money and stack some money and get some money. You know what I mean? So when that dope gang hit, I was kind of good at that shit. You feel what I'm saying? I remember my first car was a 69 Cougar RX-7. I was 16 years old. You feel me? And that motherfucker was clean as shit. You feel me? That was, to this day, that's one of my favorite cars. You know what I'm saying? I fell asleep at the wheel and crashed into a preacher car one night coming home from a party. You know, I grew up with so many people, bro. I love everybody from Fillmore, bro. On the real, y'all my loved ones. You know, and there ain't nothing like y'all, bro. Even I met thousands of other people ever since. But it ain't nothing like your friends that you grew up with, bro. You know what I mean? So, I was so good at that dope game shit, you know, and I got addicted to it. You know what I mean? It's like a heroin junkie. You feel me? That was me, like in a dope game, boy. It was so much money, and I go all around the mall. Most people didn't do that in my projects. You know what I mean? We mostly stuck to OC. You know what I'm saying? But I moved all around Fillmore, from YBG to the Val, Freedom West, to West Side, to Visit Daryl. You feel me? So all around. So I kind of knew a little bit everybody from everywhere. And so, but you still, everybody knew everybody because your name ring. You know what I'm saying? I had hella cars, y'all. So, you know what I mean? I had every car you can kind of think of. You know what I'm saying? On the real. A couple cars I ain't had. You know what I'm saying? So, like on this channel, I'm going to tell y'all a little more too. On this channel, right now, I'm just laying down talking and shit. When I get out of here, it's going to be a little different out of the hospital. Because I'm in the cars. I'm in a lot of other shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going to get to meet some of my friends and shit. You know what I'm saying? And how funny we are and how fun we have. So this shit going to turn up. That's why y'all need to stick around. You know what I mean? on the real. Man, all I be thinking of is them days, cause bro, it ain't nothing like them days. Today, I'm sorry to tell y'all, we didn't have cell phones and shit. We knew everybody's phone number by heart. You feel me? I don't care how many people, it can be hundreds of people. I knew a lot of people phone numbers by heart. Now I can't remember a phone number for shit. Now that we got cellular phones and shit, ain't that something? Can y'all answer me in the comment questions? How many of y'all can remember phone numbers that are, we all grew up together back then? You know what I mean? Y'all knew everybody's phone number, I'm pretty sure of. You know what I mean? Y'all see how much time changed? The kids got it a lot different than we had. You know what I mean? It ain't too much different, but it's different. You know what I mean? Because it's more shootings. We didn't have all these shootings. We used to fight and shit. You know what I mean? The shooting shit came along in, 90s and stuff. But back then, you used to really shoot somebody for a real reason. It wasn't just for anything, for he say, she say, or just for some dumb shit. People out nowadays dying for some dumb shit nowadays. You know what I'm saying? But my bad, y'all. My phone having storage problems. Top of my storage is full. So at this point, I'm out because my phone tripping. Thank y'all for subscribing.